I'm just gonna be honest with you guys. Based with this anime of episode two of Wakanda on the brink of collapse. Brink of collapse. I want to personally want to say here is basis that this is one thing. One of my worries is that I definitely do want to say when it comes to based in this anime, and I'm hoping that this does not become a really major problem when it comes to based in this anime. The sister wants to have a complex with her brother. Okay, and some people will probably will think that is weird, and to be honest with you, yes, it's a very weird situation, and it really actually is. And to be honest with you, just how old she really actually is, she just like, I don't know, she's like 7 or 8 years old, and he's older than her, even though that's his little sister and stuff like that. And one thing I want to personally want to say here basically is that I think a lot of people like when you're like the oldest person basically in your family, and usually when you have siblings that are basically are attached to you, it can become not a major problem. I wouldn't think or anything like that, but I mean it just depends on the nature of the person who you basically around. Sometimes siblings don't get along with each other. Sometimes they have a hard time doing things that they really should need to be doing and stuff like that. Take as instance for me, my sisters, I love my sisters. One of my sisters just probably don't want nothing to do with me anymore, to be honest with you. And it's a long story. I'd rather not talk about it. It's really actually is and stuff like that. But I personally want to say here, being a big brother is a big responsibility. It really actually is. It really actually is. I'm very attached to my sisters, my family, and stuff like that. And basically I really am. But I believe the person want to say here is that when it comes to being a big brother, it is a very 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 important thing that you have to look after your siblings. Either that you're a big sister or maybe basically a big brother. Because the reason why I base it off that, my sisters has also always defended me because they don't label me that I have a disability or anything like that. But they defended me. There are times basically I feel like basically I couldn't basically defend for myself. So I mean I know some people probably would laugh about that, but I don't think it's really the basis really it's not. Basis really it's not. I have a hard time trying to stand in my ground and trying to help myself and stuff like that and stuff. But I mean, sometimes I have to learn basically the hard way. Tough love is basically is a very very tough thing for a lot of people to understand. Once you moved out of the house, moved out of the bird nest, or I basically would say, and then you're venturing on your own and you're doing your own thing. You get a job, you get married, you have kids and stuff like that, and stuff like that. And then you watch your kids grow up, and then they do their own thing, and then you have grandchildren, and then they have their children, and so on, so on, so on, and basic stuff. I kind of want to say here is that what I'm trying to say here is basically that family does really matters really a lot. I definitely do think so. But I want to say here is that I think Chizuru needs to really understand to not to have this kind of personal kind of relationship with her brother. I understand that she loves her brother, and I definitely do understand that, and I respect that really a lot, and I totally do understand that. But having a formal relationship with the brother is not really a good thing. I really want to see when it comes to anime. And to be honest with you, I think that she's really starting to become a nuisance base of a character because she's very attached to the MC, to attach to her brother. Feel free to disagree with me with that. That's what I definitely do think. I don't want people to really to think I'm being weird or anything like that. But I'm just saying that's what it basically feels. Basically, what it feels to me. I'm hoping that this does not become a major issue with this anime. I definitely do want to continue with this anime, but if it does become such a major problem down the road, then yes, there's a likely, very good possibility I may end up with probably dropping it, because I don't want to drop this anime because I think this anime does have a lot of potential, and I really definitely do think so. and I really want to see this anime succeed because I happen to like rom-com animes because rom-com animes are very interesting, and it really actually is. But still, I still definitely would think. I just think that the sister is just basically just a nuisance when it comes to this anime. That's what I definitely do think because I really don't want to see this brother complex kind of thing with the sister because I just don't think that's not a good route for the anime to really actually is gonna go. That's my opinion. That's definitely what I definitely do think. Now, to be honest with you, I will say that I tried to look for some mangas based off this. The only manga I can only find is just based on the digital, and I'm not really much of a digital fan. I'd rather just buy the books for myself because I'm not a digital fan. I really don't like it. That's my opinion. That's what I definitely think. I don't mind reading manga online on my laptop, on my computer. I don't mind doing that, but I just don't like that. Now, the next person I want to talk about is basically the aunt. Now, the aunt basically to me is that she's basically the basis that I wouldn't say that she's gonna be a wild card based on this anime. I don't think that she really actually is, but I definitely do think that she is a supportive basically in for the MC. But I really don't see her being that basically supportive because basically with his aunt, because even though his parents passed away a long time ago and stuff like that. Usually you basically will see that pretty much most every now and then, like parents are not around and stuff like that when it comes to anime and stuff like that, or the father or the mother or stuff like that. But even though he has to live with his aunt, because even though he really doesn't really have really much of a choice, because if you're living under your parents' house and stuff like that, you have to pretty much do what they says. Because if you don't do what they says, they're just going to kick you out. But I think that the aunt it's not going to tolerate any BS. Let's just put it that way. What I mean basically is that she's not going to tolerate any of that kind of stuff. Which means she's not going to tolerate like, oh, you're chasing after girls and stuff like that. I don't want you doing this kind of stuff like that. And the reason why she's basically just saying that because she doesn't want him to become a nuisance, basically kind of a problem by having so many girls to come back to her place. So what that means is basically means is that he needs to move out on his own. To be honest with you, with me, I would just basically move out on my own too. Also, as well too. You could just do whatever you want. Like you're free to do whatever you want. You know, you have that freedom that you basically definitely have, and you wouldn't have to worry about anything else and stuff like that. And I think that would be a very good thing for the MC to really actually is for him to move out. But the problem is, if he were to move out, what about Caesar? That's the question. That's the question I really am kind of curious about. What about her? Because is he going to go with her or basically or not? But even though that he's begging the aunt to basically stay more longer, but I don't know. I don't know if that's a good direction or not. I really would like to see him to move out on his own because I definitely do think that he would basically get more freedom, but he has to really understand once he's living under his family's roof, he has to listen and do what they say because if he does not listen or do what they say, guess what? Bam, just like that, he's gonna get kicked out. So I mean, he's basically actually yes. Now some of the others I definitely want to talk about. The girl with the blonde hair. I happen to like her a lot more better than other. Excuse me. Anyways, I happen to like her more better than all the rest of the other characters because the reason why I really like her really the most because I think that she is a key player when it comes to this anime, and I definitely do think that she really is basically deeply in love with the MC. But I think the MC is just kind of like pushing her away and say like, yeah, I don't want to have a relationship with her. But I think she seems like she's kind of like pressing the issue with him. But you also have to understand he's young, she's young also as well too. They're both very young, and we both basically definitely know that. But I don't see there's nothing really wrong with that, basically, really, as she is. But I think that she really does have a really deep feelings for the MC, and she really does. But I think the MC, to me, I think that he's just being dense and just not really basically thinking or based off that. Maybe that he likes the other girl, the girl with the purple hair. I can't remember her name. I think her name was Izura. I definitely do see her basically being a potential, I have a very good possibility being with the MC, but I have a feeling that she might be ruled out. That might be a very good possibility. I don't know if that's really going to happen or not. It could happen. It may not could happen. I don't know. So I guess we just have to wait and see where the anime's really actually going to go. But I'm hoping that the sister complex, sister and brother complex doesn't become a major issue when it comes to this anime, because if it does, then I'm just going to drop it, because I don't want to be the beast of the situation. I understand that family is family. I understand that, but I want people to really to understand is that the complex and stuff like that. I don't really want to see that, because it's just something that it's just a major turnoff for, I think, for a lot of people, and basically for me, and that's just what I definitely do think. So yeah, those were overall my thoughts. But so the episode, what are you guys' thoughts about the episode and stuff? Do you guys agree with me or disagree with me? That's the whole point of this, me making these videos. What are you guys' thoughts about the sister? Do you think there might be a brother and sister complex kind of situation? Do you think it might happen or anything like that? I hope that doesn't happen. I hope that really doesn't. What are you guys' thoughts about some of the other key players basically in this anime, that basically the two girls, maybe potential for the MC? I'm rooting for the girl, the blonde hair girl. I think that she's a very good potential, but that's just my opinion. And what are you guys' thoughts about basically of the aunt? Like, if she's going to kick him out? In my opinion, I definitely do think he should move out, so he wouldn't have to worry and stuff like that. But the question is, what about his sister? So yeah. But yeah, anyways, that's it for this review. Tell me what you guys think. You liked it, you guys don't like it, you guys think it's good, think it's bad. I'd love to hear what you guys thoughts about the episode. But anyways, I'll see you guys later. Take care. Week yourself one day. Don't forget to subscribe. Please consider subscribing. Please hit the like button. Give me a thumbs up or give me a thumbs down. Doesn't matter to me. And please leave me comments below. Anyways, I love you guys. Take care. Hope you got one day. Take care. God bless. Remember, I love you guys. Please stay safe. And remember, stay blessed. Love you guys. Take care. Bye.